Hey Simon, how are you?
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. How about, can you hear and see me?
I can hear and see you. How are
Great.
you, Judy? You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm super excited to talk to you.
No, it's a pleasure. Apologies for not being able to get online. I've had to go to the other phone just to try and get it. My mobile phone must be on its way out, I think. It's
Oh
locked me
no.
out. Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'm up and running. Great stuff.
So I saw online that not only are you an actor, but you're also a writer and a director, and you own a store. So tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about your store, Zico. Is that
So years ago, my wife's background was fashion. And years ago, about 20 years ago, we started a little fashion store in the West End of Glasgow. And it became kind of a cult hit. It was always full of sort of unemployed actors and people drinking wine and things. So we weren't selling many clothes, but it became really popular.
Oh,
But
neat.
then we moved. We moved location about 600 yards up the road, and nobody came. It killed the business. It was the weirdest thing.
Huh.
So we had a rogue landlord. There was all sorts going on, and we hadn't done it for about 15 years. And I was rehearsing a play in a venue near the Barras Market in Glasgow, and noticed that it changed quite a lot. That it was kind of on its knees, post COVID and everything as well. And people had forgotten about it. But the last couple of years, it's become really, really sort of funky and popular, and it's kind of like sort of London Camden Market or Manchester's Northern District. It's kind of like that.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of post-industrial, the East End, the sort of rougher end of Glasgow as well. Perfect for us. So we were offered a little sort of stall and then a shop, an actual shop unit.
Yeah.
So we took it on, and we've been there for the last couple of years, and it's great. It gives me something else to. I've got a real passion for football and for sports and music and film, and it combines all my kind of passions and loves into selling really nice clothes as well. So
Yeah.
kind of do it so it stands on its own 2 feet, and it's not about the actor who has the shop, if you kind of know what I mean. But eventually, people figure out who you are.
Right. Oh, right. So do they come just to see you?
Some people do now, yeah. Some
Oh,
people do.
okay.
It's always the danger because then they stop buying, and
Oh,
it
because they just
you
want to get selfies and
just
whatnot.
want to have a yeah, exactly, have a selfie out. So I get a lot of free coffee out of it, but it's starting to get a little queue, and then at the weekend it attracts more people down as well. And at the weekend I had a lot of the cast down from a comedy show here called Still Game as well, and that nearly stopped the street. So it was so there was the queues of people queuing up.
Yeah. Is that the picture you have with everybody was like lined up?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
unbelievable. We're
I saw
filming there
that.
the other night as well. So my two worlds are beginning to collide there a lot
Yeah.
more,
You're
which is
kind of like a
exactly my goal.
phenomenon.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah. Just need to keep selling.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's really cool.
It is. It's nice to have some other sort of strings to your bow as well.
Oh,
Because
yeah, for sure.
I find that I've been an actor since I was 12 years old.
Oh,
So my whole
wow.
life really has been kind of acting and with actors and everything as well. But my friends are footballers and sort of musicians and things as well. So I
Right.
like to kind of mix with people as well. That's where I get my inspiration from. So it's nice. It's nice to have another sort of strings to the bow.
Yeah, sure. And have like a little bit more diversity too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have been in like looked you up because I only knew you from, sorry, but I have seen you in what was it? Oh, Irvin Welsh's Crime. I did recognize you from that.
Yeah, yeah.
But mostly the Reverend in Blood of My Blood. So I went back and looked at a couple reels, and you've been like in High Road, River City, Irvin
Mm,
Welsh's Crime, Train Spotting 2, Monarch of Glen. You've been in a lot of stuff.
yeah.
You
Well,
have
I'm
a
old.
huge resume. What'd you
I
say
know I'm
you're old?
old, man. I'm 52. I've been doing it since I was 12,
I'm
40
older
years.
than you.
Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
I'm 55.
You have much better water over there than clearly.
Maybe it's the dye. I'm like covering some of my gray.
Yeah, I'm getting very thin and white haired. I've sort of aged.
Yeah.
This is like a Glaswegian 27-year-old. We have hard paper rounds, as they say here.
Well, you look really well. You look really well.
Thank you. More.
Yeah.
Well, I've been up all kind of. I've been up late because I had a late shoot yesterday as well.
Oh
So my
yeah.
body's all covered in fake tattoos, and I've got glue all over me from the prosthetics I had on. So I was playing a
Are,
really wild
are you allowed to
character.
talk about what you were doing, like what you were shooting, or is it a
Yeah,
big secret?
yeah. It's a bit of a secret. I can't really talk about what it
Okay.
is. It's a short film, but it's quite a big one. And it's another I normally play villains,
Yeah.
really villains. So this was a really villainous role.
Oh
The end of a gangster's quest. The story of it is it's a gangster an Edinburgh gangster who he's been diagnosed with testicular cancer.
okay.
So it's not a comedy. So he then goes on this vengeful mission all round. But the sort of daft comedy part of it is he's looking for his sunglasses. I want my
Okay.
sunglasses back. So I won't give it all away, but ultimately he comes to me, and I'm the last stop in the film. So I
Oh,
spent the last 24 hours doing fighting with hammers and hatchets and lots
oh,
of
how cool.
it's great. I'll send you privately a picture of the character, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can't
I would
release it
love that.
for
That'd be great.
another
Thank
year,
you.
okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
very cool. Well, that's a big change from what the Reverend in Blood of My Blood.
I was cast against type for that one, I would think.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit if you're doing all these other roles. So I'd love to hear about like your experience on that set and other sets, like what your different experiences are. Because Outlander is such a huge franchise, and then for them to suddenly, well, not suddenly, but decide to do a prequel, like it's a big deal for people who are huge fans and what wicked obsessed with Outlander and the books, and which I am. So
Yeah, I was too, actually. I got my sort of Outlander stories is um it's kind of a bit different. So I had an agent years ago who knew these shows were coming up. I don't know how, but he said, get reading these books. And I got them, and like you, I was engrossed in the story straight away.
did you read
The
all of them?
detail. Yeah, I've read every one of them.
Oh, no way. Oh
I
man,
did,
we could have a
I did. I read
conversation
every one
about
of them.
that.
Yeah, well, when I went to my first audition for it, I knew more than the casting did
Oh,
about what
wow.
happened, because I'd read everything. So I was telling them stuff about it as well, because I was really, really involved. Just a wee bit of background as well. I mean, I
Yeah.
love Scottish history, and Jacobite period is my favourite history.
So interesting.
Oh, it's just because it's the end of the clan system and things as
Right.
well. I'm Irish background and a lot of Highland background with the McTavish clan and the McGregors, and we all
Oh,
came from.
wow.
So I've got
Okay.
this big sort of. I'm the family historian as well, so I've got this massive interest in tracing, the roots right back as well, as far as you can accurately go. So for me, it was perfect. So I auditioned the first series, and I was on tour, and I was doing a theatre tour of Robert Louis Stevenson's Kidnapped, and I was playing Alan.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, and the most swashbuckling Jacobite of all time.
Yeah.
So I thought I nailed the audition and did really well. And there's going to be a big series of buts in this.
Okay.
But I had two more shows to do in Aberdeen and at His Majesty's Theatre. And they clashed. The dates clashed with the first
Oh,
series, and I couldn't do it. So a couple of weeks later, I'm kind of, it'll come up again. I know it's going to run and run because I've read the books. I realise that this is going to run this series. It's got a huge following. It's brilliantly written. Diana is a wonderful writer. She
yes.
gets, and also for as a sort of way of packaging Scottish history, quite a interesting but difficult time to explain to people that don't really know Scottish history. A lot of Scots included. The Jacobite period for me is kind of the end of that world, and the most fascinating for me. So I didn't get it. We were called onto stage for the last couple of shows, and the shows were cancelled. So I could have done it.
Aw.
So let's fast forward. I auditioned 14 times for different roles in Outlander
Wow,
and
that's a
Blood
lot.
before I got it. And so you can imagine all my friends are in it.
Right.
Everybody I know is in it. Everybody I know has worked on it. It became the new Taggart for Scottish actors. Every actor in Scotland had worked on Taggart, and if you had, and you went alive. So Outlander was a new Taggart for years, and there was loads of parts came up, and I wasn't quite right. And casting are great because they've known my work and they've known me a long time, and they realized that none of these parts. It was like they wanted me in it somehow, but it was a square peg and round hole for most
Mm-hmm.
of the roles I auditioned for. It was French characters, it was English lords and nobles, and it was all sorts of stuff. And I just wanted to be a hairy arsed Highlander with a sword and get into the wars. I'm going to start chopping up redcoats.
Yeah, right.
No, so I missed all that, and it would come, and I use football analogies quite a lot, soccer
Yeah.
analogies. So it was like hitting the bar or hitting the post. It wasn't in the goal. It was almost, it was like a rebound, and I missed constantly.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it had gone away, and then I heard that Blood of My Blood was being mooted as this new prequel series, which is fascinating. For those, I'm not going to ruin it, no spoilers, but for those who haven't seen it, it's a similar setup to Outlander.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works for this. So, but you've got to know a little bit about the books. You've got to know
Oh
about the
no, I
first.
agree.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
to
Or it'll
understand
be
it.
confusing otherwise. So
Yeah, I think the first episode's quite confusing that way if you don't know. You come into it and you go, oh, right, okay, you got to kind of figure it out. But it's genius the way that the characters are. And I love reading the message boards and things and people trying to figure out what it is. And that's the world I was dying to be part of. And finally, on the 14th go, I got it. But you know what happens. So you
I
can
mean, we can
imagine.
talk about it. I'll just put like spoiler at the top of my
Yeah,
book,
put spoiler
whatever.
alert.
But
Put a spoiler alert.
that
So
was
at the
crazy
14th,
because Tony
yeah.
Curran is such a great diverse actor, and he plays such a jerk. Lord
Tony's
Lovett,
great.
is notoriously not a great person. So,
Tony's great. But Tony's more like Lord Lovett than you would imagine. You know?
oh really?
I'm joking. I'm joking. Tony's brilliant, and I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know Tony. I knew of Tony obviously, and I liked his work.
Mhm.
And we've got all lots of mutual friends, but I'd never actually worked with Tony in any scenes. I think we've been in the same things in the past. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
our paths haven't crossed at all. And we're both big sort of Celtic fans as well, Glasgow Celtic fans, and we'd never met at events or anything. And you know what? From the first take on the first day, we locked eyes with each other, and the devil was in both eyes. So I thought we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good
Oh
little
yeah.
us too. And I love working with actors who are like that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we became really sort of firm, fast friends really quickly. You build really strange, sort of very quick friendships when you're an actor.
Mhm.
Whether you're on tour with somebody because you're all stuck in a van together, or the hardship of actually touring, or whether you're
Right.
doing a long film or a TV show, you get real strong bonds. Sometimes you never see them again, or
Oh,
sometimes you work with them in 10 different projects, and you've got this wonderful shared history. But
yeah.
I never had that with Tony, and I got it immediately with him as well. And we hang about together now as well. So he's become a great friend. But I will not ever forgive him for what he did to me in the show, and I remind
I
him
mean,
of it every
I
single
never
time.
saw that coming. You did whatever he
You
asked
didn't.
you
I
to do.
didn't see
Lord
it.
love it.
Yeah,
Within
I didn't
like
see it
you
coming.
almost married them when she was having a baby, which was
Yeah,
insane. And then
but
you
you
do
know what?
everything. They get you drunk, and then Balak takes
Yeah, and Balak, Balak is
Oh,
also a
he's so
good friend as well.
scary.
Balak's terrifying, and do you know what? He's the nicest man on
Oh,
earth.
I know.
Oh,
Oh, I
Chick's
know.
lovely. He's lovely, and I've done a few things
Charlie, yeah,
with him.
chick.
Yeah, I've done a few. I've done a few sort of Jacobite and Highlander things with him as well. We did the battle immersion. If you ever go to Culloden Battlefield,
I
they've
haven't,
got.
but I would love to go.
Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it. Tell everyone you've got to come to Culloden Battlefield. So a few years ago, they redid the sort of site of the battle, did a geographical survey on it, and the archaeologists come in. And the archaeologist was a pal of mine and invited me up to dig the battlefield because I'd written a Bonnie Prince Charlie film and was trying to get funding for it and get people interested in it. And Ewan McGregor's mum was involved; she was going to produce it, and it was going. We got quite far with it until Scottish Screen came back to us, who were the sort of funding body, and said nobody would queue around the block to see that ending. So you've got to change history the sort of Braveheart way. So
Uh,
that's
okay.
that. For me, that's all nonsense. So it didn't come to anything. But I made really good sort of Jacobite contacts at the time, and I actually did the archaeological dig, and I dug up musket balls and things from the actual
Oh man,
battle.
that's so cool.
Amazing. So I
Yeah.
deserve to be in this show. So we've gone back with all that as well, and Chick was in that as well. We did a battle immersement room, so it was based on like sort of amusement parks and things. When you walk into the room and Disney characters come up on four walls. Well, this one was a battle scene where the redcoats appear on one wall. It's a white room. The redcoats appear on one wall, sort of pushing the cannons out, hundreds of them, and then you hear the pipes on the other side and the sort of marching, and the Jacobites' army starts to appear on the other side,
Oh wow.
and then it goes. Then the cannons go off and the bullets fly, and then it's and it stops.
Yeah.
And you actually, because it's an immersive, you're right in the middle of a sort of 3D battle. So that was the closest thing you had until Outlander got made. And Charlie Chick was in that as well.
Yeah.
So that's where I knew Balak from then, you know. And we've done a couple of things we've been in as well. And I've always really loved him. He's a really, really nice, gentle, lovely man. And we both love motorbikes and things as well. And
Mhm.
again, we got on great, you know. I made him laugh so much that he hurt his sides. And he could hardly continue with one of the scenes we were doing. So it still didn't change the result,
Oh,
unfortunately.
wow. Well, it's interesting because I just reached out to Charlie and he said he
Excellent.
would do an interview with me, I think next week. So
Oh,
hopefully I'll get
dude,
to talk to
listen,
him.
hello. Tell him I still don't forgive him.
I'll be sure to say that.
Mark my words, I'll get him back.
Yeah,
I'll get
right.
him. And the thing is, because of what happened, so spoiler alerts,
Yeah, okay.
I get my head bashed in from Balak.
Right.
And what I've done is the reason that Lovett has kept me going is to validate their child by
Right.
having marriage and then changing the date. And
Right.
as I'm the only person who knows about that,
Yes.
I have to die.
Right.
And this is why I love Tony and I love all the cast, Jamie and all the cast around, because we were sitting with them. It was my last couple of days, and that cast went through every permutation of how I could be brought back in some way. You know what I mean? But I have to die.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but 14
Aw.
auditions. Don't I deserve a run? So it's just the way this job is, you know.
Yeah, of
As I
course.
said, I always play villains. I'm either arrested or killed in everything I do. And this was just another one in a different costume. That was it. It was the same thing. But I loved it because it was, although he wasn't a named character, he had major story power in it as well.
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
a lot of scenes, you know, and they cut bits and they cut around things as well. And it's always a thing when you play ministers. I played a few priests and ministers, always with a dodgy edge, obviously. But whenever you do those sorts of scenes, you start and you've learned all this dialogue and you do the whole, you know, baptismal ceremony, and the
Yeah.
camera's not on you. The camera dots about as all the different characters
Yeah.
come into the church, and then they're all looking at each other, and I'm knocking my pan in the background. None of it I can use, but it was just an absolute joy to be on. See, to be part of the Outlander, you don't realize the
Yeah.
size of it, you know,
It's
until you
really,
go.
I thought you were really good. It was some really good, interesting, powerful scenes. I mean, for sure.
Yeah,
And for
lovely.
him, for the minister to even, the reverend even to say no to Lord Lovett,
That's at pain of death, you
yeah.
know, pain
Yeah,
of
because
death.
he doesn't like he likes everything his way. So
Absolutely, and the power that clan chiefs had up until, you know, the sort of Highland clearances was the power of life and death. You know, they are judge and jury.
yep.
So I mean, Lovett would hang people from trees. You know, this was not the justice was summary justice. I think they called it then, and it was you are, you know, judge and executioner.
Wasn't
So
he Lord Lovett pretty much like what they consider the last Jacobite to be killed because
it
they
was
beheaded him, and that's where that phrase supposedly
laughing
laughing
your
his
head
head
off.
off
Yeah, yeah.
because he
I
was
told my dad.
laughing before they did it.
Yeah, Tony told me that. I checked it, and I told my dad that recently. And he didn't believe me.
No, oh yeah, I read it. That's true, right?
You, do
Yeah,
you hear
that's
that?
crazy.
You hear that? Yeah. So yeah, laughing your head off. So he was, because obviously I think there was a stand that was put up, like a grandstand was put up
Yeah,
with
so
people
everybody
to
could
come.
watch.
Yeah, and it collapsed, and people were killed.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
why he
Okay.
laughed. He was laughing at them, and it was his final.
Yeah.
It was his final two fingers to the you know the monarchy.
Yeah.
So a great story there, but he's a wonderful character, and it's very difficult to cast these characters and bring them to life properly, because there's got to be a wonderful, watchable personality. You've got to be kind
Right.
of playing for him, but hating him at the same time. And Tony
Right.
brings that because he's a lovely guy and a really, really good actor. Um, he brings that. It's a real.
He
It's
does. He does. I've commented on a couple of his things. I was like, "You're so good, but I kind of hate you." So
yeah, absolutely. It
he's
is so
like,
good.
"Like."
I hate him anyway. I mean, I kind of hate him because he's so successful. Because he
Oh no,
gets
I
four
mean the
Emmys and I
character,
get.
not him. Lord
No,
Lovett, not him.
I
Not
hate
him.
him. You can pass that on. No, Tony's brilliant, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. And I think what a cast they put together. And it was
Yeah.
interesting being in the green room and the rehearsal room and everything before, and when we all first met, because you read for the whole cast gets together for the read throughs, which are
Right.
great. And we're all sitting there. It was just interesting watching, going into the green room and seeing Tony's kind of, you know, he's done so much and he's experienced and he's lovely with everyone, and he kind of bonded all the groups, because there's always young groups.
Sure.
older groups. Tony is the glue that puts the whole show together. So he's really important, I think, for morale and everything as well. And he was a great friend to me because it was quite a sad period actually shooting those episodes, because my best actor friend was Brian McCarty, who played Isaac Grant.
I'm
And
sorry.
he died. Yeah, so we had the read through. I spoke to him that night. He was sending me pictures while the read through was going, because he was on Zoom, because he lived down on an island and he wasn't in that day. He was on Zoom for the read through, and the American producers are all in kind of Zoom as well. It was great. It was really a fab day. We're all reading the parts, and Brian did his bit, and he kept holding his chin like this, and I thought it was a character choice. And he phoned me right after we finished. Oh, and he did some garrulous, rough voice. Oh, look at my chin. And there's blood all over my shirt. He cut himself shaving just before they went on camera. Was holding his chin and blood all down there. So we roared with laughter, and he died 2 days later.
I'm so sorry.
So I never got to work with him again and we'd worked together quite a lot on things, and I think 2 or 3, and this was the third job we'd have done together. So,
how long were you guys friends?
Oh, since we did a show called Case Histories back in about 2010 or something. So
that's a long
15
time.
years. Yeah, 15, but really close friends. He's kind of the only person I would completely vent to or be really honest with about everything as well, because part of being an actor is you just kind of take the hits, and your successes and your failures. It's all, nobody sees any of that. The hard work of the auditioning and who you're working with, and Brian was like a big brother to me, because I'm the eldest in my family, so I never had a big brother. So Brian was like my big brother. So he was really good, and he was doing the best work of his career, and he was great in this. And him and Tony had big stuff to come.
Yeah.
As Lord Lovett and Grant, the 2 clan chiefs, and they hadn't worked together before. So they were really looking forward to it as well. But Tony stepped in, and we went to the funeral together. And the hard thing was we were filming scenes that afternoon. So, the Outlander team allowed us to go to the funeral. The exec producer was with us as well. And then we got in the car and into costume and makeup, and with long filming scenes after.
Yeah.
But Tony got us through. Tony got us through that a lot, because that was a real blow for me. It was a real surprise and shock.
Sure.
Yeah. And it would have tarnished the whole thing. I mean, apart from getting my head bashed in and killed by Balak. It was a double. It was like kind of a double done.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, Tony was great on that. And it was just, and we laughed. We laughed. I mean, it was probably better I didn't continue with it, because I'd have been a distraction for Tony Curran. I think that he's great. They all have great fun. They're all lovely. I like looking at young actors and going into a room and going, you're all. I think they feel it, but I don't think they realise the size of it. And you are all on the cusp of tremendous, fame and stardom.
Yeah.
And because you've got a ready-made audience there, if they get it and if they go with it as well, and I think they have, and I think they have.
Yeah, I will say that because before Outlander, regular Outlander, with the books, like I kind of knew what was coming, kind of thing. And this, I kind of don't know what's coming, loosely, but not really. And I got to tell you, it like really throws me off. Like I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it was like
it's crazy.
And it was funny because when Brian got the part as well, he hadn't read the books. And Brian McCarty phoned me, "Big man, have you read all the books? I know you know all this. Do I live?"
I did.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking through all the books, going, yeah, you're older, of course, yeah. And I'm googling it and going, I'll find out for you. I'm sure I live, buddy. I'm sure I live. I've got another 7 episodes. Great. So there was all that going on as well, So, yeah. But that's the interesting thing about it. It's all new ground because it's 50 years before. It's these characters before, and a really interesting time. The first Jacobite rebellion is a fascinating time that even a lot of Scots don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know that much about that one. So,
end of the Clan War. The Clan Wars have just finished, and I did a series called Blood of the Clans, a BBC series. Have a look at that as well. That really well explained.
I saw that listed as one of the things you were in.
Yes, really, really good. So I was the head of the Campbell clan in that one, Archibald Campbell, who was briefly the King of Scotland. And it's all about the Civil War and how the Civil War was in Scotland, and the Civil War just decimated Britain as well. So that gives you, that's quite a good companion piece to watch to set the tone for what came right afterwards, which is, the Jacobite Rebellion.
So let me ask you this. I know that you had posted that this short film called Buried was
Mm,
selected for the St. Andrews Film Festival, but you said it's not, it's just making the rounds right now. I did
yeah.
watch the trailer. Very interesting. Are you allowed to talk about that at all?
No, no, let's talk about anything. No, no, no. I will. Yeah, I will. It's a really, really good story. It's a personal story from the director,
Okay.
and it's more or less, without saying it, really, it's him and his dad's story.
Oh, no
Uh,
way.
Heightened reality version of him and his dad's story.
Wow.
Dad's a really interesting guy, so I play the dad character in it, and I met him there as well. It's always weird when you meet who it's based on, because you're
Uh-huh.
kind of waiting for their approval. So they watch you doing a scene, they go, "You're all right. You can do it." So you look nothing like them, But however, there's something that it's always weird to them playing someone that's actually in the room. So, but it's a really
Oh,
good
yeah,
story.
that would be odd.
Sort of bonding piece between a father and son that
Yeah.
goes a little bit awry.
Yeah.
No
Well,
more.
I don't want to ruin anything for anybody else, but the trailer's out there. I saw a little clip of it and I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks really interesting.
Well, this is what I try and get. I mean, I'm dead lucky in that I've been doing it a long time, and as you said, I've got a really good, strong CV. But I spend most of my sort of screen life now in what you would call indie films, lower budget
Mhm.
films and independent features. And I've got four. I'm working on four at the moment just now.
Oh my
Just did
goodness.
so I get lots and lots of work, and a lot of it just comes to me from people I've worked with previously. Some of it from other actors. You get suggested for things. So if
Oh,
my create a lot of my work myself, not without but just with sort of contacts and people I know, and I love working with new filmmakers, young filmmakers as well, because that's the future of it.
right.
So I've done, yeah. I mean, interestingly, yesterday was what was the film called? The film was called Old Habits, as in Die Hard. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
is yeah, this is a companion piece to Bruce Willis. But yeah, Old Habits, and that was my 100th film, my 100th film.
That's incredible.
Isn't that great? Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
quite an
camera.
achievement.
It is, yeah, yeah. I'd never thought when I did, because film used to be really hard to do. It used to be really hard to sort of get the work as well, because films were dead expensive. Yeah, I spoke
Right.
to Peter Allen about this years ago as well. He used to direct lots and direct short films, and he made really brilliant. If you ever look at Peter Mullen's short films, YouTube them.
Okay.
A Good Day for the Bad Guys, everything as well.
Oh,
Just really, really good, great actors in it, and they cost a fortune. They were costing £6,000 then, £6,000 then,
wow,
because it
that's
was all shot
crazy.
on film. Whereas now, all these young filmmakers coming out of film school, people are shooting stuff on their phones.
I saw that.
Yeah, you wouldn't know the difference. I'm doing a film on Monday. I'm doing a sequel to another film I did last year, feature film, all shot on a phone, and you couldn't tell the difference because it's
Wow.
so well edited and cut together and things as well.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse now for not making films. As a result, it's much easier to get film work and indie film work. And then I'm in something like 10 different festivals with about 5, 6 different films at the
Oh,
moment.
that's incredible.
That's what they do. They go out, they go to all these festivals, they kind of win awards. So I'm
Yeah.
getting all these strange, best actor awards and best cast awards from all these different festivals, and promoting projects that I did a year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago sometimes. So it's great. It just that way you stay busy and you stay relevant as well, because as you get older, you can. I was in a show. I was in Take the High Road, Scottish soap opera. I was in that for 8 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
you can get a bit typecast, and you can miss out on stuff. And I think I'm now. My actor pals at the time were all young, funky film actors, and we all did a film called The Acid House together. And they all went off and did loads of feature film stuff and big stuff afterwards. And I was back to the TV show, and I always felt I kind of missed out on it until the show got cancelled, of course. And then we all missed out on everything. But the way of things. Not that I'm bitter. Um, so I think I'm catching up on all that now.
Yeah.
So I rack up about 10 to 12 credits every year. And that way I find that my CV refreshes. What I mentally,
Yeah.
I wipe the slate at the beginning of the year, and it's
Yeah.
like start again. And I think that way, the one sort of way that I get work, and the one thing that kind of stands out that I've always had is just enthusiasm. I love working. I love working
Yeah.
on film. I love trying new stuff and
Well,
working
it
with.
comes through. I can feel that just talking to you. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's the one thing I've never. I played football when I was young, so I played soccer, and I played for a professional football team.
No
And
way.
I was just because I was big and I was put up front, but but I never had the same. I love football; it's my big passion apart from acting. But I never stuck at it. I never tried hard enough. I never worked hard enough at it as well. I could have done sports, lots of sports, but this I've never given up. I've kind of chucked everything. I get tremendous interest in things. I love writing, acting. That's what eventually realised that's what you do,
Right.
and that you've got to have a real passion for it because sometimes it's tough. Yesterday was a tough day. It was 13 hours in 2.5 hours in makeup, 2 hours to get it off, and fight scenes all day. I mean, I was fighting all day, fight scenes all day in a nuclear bunker 50 feet under the ground of Edinburgh.
Oh my goodness.
With no heating in what's now Glasgow, Scottish winter. So with no top on, freezing. So you've got to love it, man.
Yeah, for sure. You must be in good shape.
No, after yesterday I am.
Well, let me ask you this. How did you get into directing and writing then? And do you like that more than acting, or do you like acting more than directing? Like,
definitely acting more than directing. I'm a terrible director.
But you directed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I was terrible because I look at actors doing it and going, "You do it this way," which is the worst thing you can do to an actor. You know what I mean? So I kind of resisted. I kind of went, "No, I like writing stuff and things as well." At the time, it was much harder. Yeah, it's much harder to get things made then. So now I like other people to do all the heavy lifting. They can set up. I'll just give me a time and the lines, and I'll be there. And then I do a lot of writing on sets and on films as well. That's why I like working with sort of young directors and things as well. People that allow me to not improve, but tighten up the dialogue.
Add to it.
Yeah, a lot of scripts are overwritten.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of exposition and things, and you don't need it. I'm old enough and experienced enough to do it the Steve McQueen way, where he would just red line scripts and say, "I can do that with a look. I'll do that with an eyebrow." And Gene Hackman was a great one for that as well. Red line.
What a good actor.
Yeah, and that's the sort of guys that I look at, especially someone like Gene Hackman. You go, that's to be an older actor and a character actor. That's what you need to bring. My job is to make the words, get the script, and make those words dance, and even a way that the director doesn't even hear it in their voice, which is the hard thing about the audition process now, because the audition process has changed so much post-COVID, in that I'm not in the room. So you and I have a great chat. You see I'm passionate about this. You see I know a lot about Jacobite history. That comes across when I'm in the room. Mm-hmm. But if I'm doing a tape and saying, "Hi, I'm Simon Weir, blah blah blah," there's my hands, do my scene, the end. That's two-dimensional. So I'm finding that my sort of conversion rate between getting jobs from being in the room with casting directors and tapes now, as it's all self-tapes, has gone right down. I'm getting 3 out of 10 when I used to get 7 out of 10 of the auditions, and I think that's
a lot.
Yeah, it's a big change. I'm good at them. It's not as if my tapes
obviously,
but I don't know whether it's just they're two-dimensional. They don't get a sense of who you are personality-wise, the passion you bring to it, your voice. Mm-hmm. I'm quite big. The size of you, what your handshake's like, and things as well. What are you? What vibe? I hate that word, but what vibe are you bringing into the room? That's what's missing. And also, they don't tell you. There's no director there to tell you. So you only get, just if I use that as an example, if you go for something like Blood of My Blood, you'll get a paragraph or 2 pages. You won't get the scene before or the scene afterwards.
Oh, I see.
You don't know what the jeopardy level is. You don't know what happens to your character. You don't know whether Balak's going to bash your head in at that stage. So you're auditioning for 7 years.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it doesn't go that way sometimes. But that's the thing. So you don't know the jeopardy levels of things as well. So you can get it really wrong. And you don't know whether the guy you're shouting at is your brother or your lover, or you don't have the whole story anymore as well. Whereas if you're in the room, the director will go, well, actually, the jeopardy level's higher. He doesn't know this, or he does know this, or he's killed his brother, or do you know what I mean? So you get the backstory that way. But I find I'm missing that a little bit in it as well. But that's kind of the way things are now. Things have changed amazingly since the COVID times, and also you get seen for more things. I mean, the idea is, if casting directors in LA, they can very easily do a Zoom with you to see what you're actually like. Recalls are done on Zoom like this. So
interesting.
Yeah. So because my Zoom wasn't working very well, you can tell how few recalls I've had recently. Yeah.
All right, I have a couple more. I have a bunch of questions for you. So, what's important to you, like as an actor? What do you love about it? You said that you've been doing it since you were 12. So,
Yeah. I like everything about it except not working.
right?
Yeah, it's the best job in the world, but then when you're not working, you've got a recognizable face, and I was quite well known in Scotland for the work I did previously. And when I lost the TV show, as a case in point, 2003 TV show got cancelled. I moved to London because I was recognizable up here, but wasn't working on anything. And I was so sort of typecast in that role that I couldn't get other work at the time. So for
Okay.
a year, I was auditioning and not getting seen for stuff before it kind of restarted again. Yeah, I had to get into my 30s and 40s when I'd actually changed and got older to start playing more gravitas roles again as well. It's funny. So that's what I love. What I love about it is just that the work is not the work is not the work. The work is the payoff. I do actor sort of training and workshops and things as well sometimes, and I always say that the work is the auditioning, and the work is the being out of work, and having
Right.
to go and do other jobs, and you deliver pizzas to somebody's door, and somebody knows you from the telly. It's hard,
Yeah.
really hard. Can you do a selfie or sign autographs? And it's a funny thing, and you can't be embarrassed about it. It's because everyone has survival jobs, and the world's changed
Right.
so that you can be the sort of flower of the month or belle of the ball 1 minute, and then you are not working for 2 or 3 years. And often people have had a big hit find it really difficult to get other work afterwards. So I
That's
would say that
weird. I think it'd
the
be the
actual
opposite way.
yeah, and the payoff of doing the job is the reward.
Right.
You know, that's what I love. I just love working, and I love the fact that there was a cartoon when I was young called Mr. Ben, and it was a cartoon of a little man who comes out of his house and he goes to a local shop, and it's a fancy dress shop. And when he puts on a costume like a medieval suit of armor, a door opens and he goes into the medieval period. That's what I love. That's what I feel. I feel like it's Mr. Ben, and every
Yeah.
job you get, I love
Kind of like going through the wardrobe to Narnia.
Narnia. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just patting lions as I go past. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, through the fur coats and there's a lion.
Oh my
So
God,
that
that's like one of my favorite things. So,
I've always loved that, and that's how I've always sort of mentally felt. If you've got a great imagination, and I've always did, even as a young child, is that dressing up as soldiers and
yep.
really vivid imagination. It means that you never have to grow up. The development.
Valid point.
Absolutely, so actors are children, and it's great, and
Yeah,
that's why I think it's very important to remember. It's not you're not brain surgeons, you're not saving anyone's life, but it's important to entertain people, and that's why it's called a
sure.
play. You play. It's all play. It's all make
Right.
believe and pretend. But what I like to bring is something that's really authentic, mostly frightening, but authentic to it as well. So that's the great parts of it. The negative part of it is just the not working, auditioning and all that I like. And I love meeting different people. The fact that you meet 80 different people in the cast and crew and everything you do, you become dead friendly and then you never see each other again. Or you work on 4 or 5 jobs with each other as well.
Yeah.
It gives you a whole social network, and it gives you really good personable and sort of interpersonal and people skills,
Yeah, for sure. Good
because
social
you have to
skills.
be a communicator with everybody, and I love it, man. I love it. And as I
That's
said,
great. Well, it definitely shows that you love it.
yeah, I do. It's the only thing, as I said, I've never chucked. I've chucked everything else. So yeah, I'm stuck now.
Well, I wouldn't say it's stuck. Stuck in a good way.
Stuck in a good way.
So let me ask you this. Is there one thing or many things that being in this field has taught you? Is there one thing that sticks out that you've learned that was
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see?
It's been a really good study, and do you know? See, every job you get, regardless of how experienced you are, is the first day at a new school. That's how you feel. You're
Right.
nervous, no matter what you've done. You've got all this. You've got your new clothes on. You don't know anybody, and everybody's been there for ages. If you're like a day player in a TV show, or the new member of cast in a long running show, it's awful. The first day is awful because they're all in it. They're all pals. They've all been
Mhm.
doing it for years. They've all got this shared history together. They know exactly what they're doing, and you have to be like that, but cheat it from the first moment you walk in, because you're kind of judged that way straight away. So it makes you really, really thick-skinned because of the amount of failure you go through and not getting it. As I said, 3 out of 10 auditions I get, maybe less.
Okay.
The failure of that, the sort of the not knowing where the next paycheck's coming from, all of that. All of that you bring into it as well. So you've got to be mentally really tough. You got to be physically as fit as you can be as well. So what you learn is that you can be wild and mad when you're young, but you've really got to toe the line and stay fit and keep mentally really, really bright. Because as you get older, the parts for men especially tend to get better. And they're more wordy and they're more dialogue. When you're young, it's motorbikes, leather jackets, and fighting. When you're older, it's judges, lawyers, cops, in my case, older villains with screeds of dialogue. So you got to keep mentally sharp and
Right.
stay invested. And as I said earlier on, stay as keen as you like you're just out of school. Stay as keen as you can on every single job, regardless of what the strata of it, regardless of whether it's a student film or it's a Blood of My Blood or
Right.
it's Trainspotting 2. I'm as enthusiastic about doing the film I did yesterday on a low budget as I ever was on my last day on Blood of My Blood.
Right.
That's very important. That's the most attractive thing for actors. Stay keen. There's a lot of hoary old actors, and I grew up with loads of them, with the fag and the coffee. Ah, son, they're all, can I say bastards? They're all bastards. There's
Yeah.
things that those, and I love those older actors.
Yeah.
But you realise that there's a kind of failed ambition part of it, maybe, or there's a reason for it as well. I'm the opposite. I sound like that and I look like that, but I just love working with sort of young actors and things as well, and some of the experienced actors. And when you're an actor and you grow up and you like people's work, like Tony's, and then suddenly you get a big job and you're working with them, and then you're pals with them, and then it's like you've known them all your life. That's what it's been like for me since I was 12 years old. I've worked with, I meet footballers and I meet all my football heroes. I meet pop stars and they're all heroes. Actors are the ones who I've always learned from and who I've always worked with. And then working with them, what I've learned most of all is to be confident, because I'm just as good as any of them.
No, you have to have confidence in your ability for sure.
And not false confidence, based on I've done
No,
a
no,
lot.
real confidence. Right.
When it comes to it, it's like, again, a football analogy. If somebody hits a football to you, or a tennis ball, and you return it with just as much power and force, you realize you can play the same game, and you're all dancing on the same pitch, you know. So that's how it feels when it's great stuff. There is no real pressure. There might be 5 cameras, there might be 300 extras. Everyone's staring at you, and it's your bit. If you don't thrive in that and love it and be like the inside of I imagine it like the inside of a candle flame. The coldest part of the flame is inside. So you need to be that cold with all this fire's going on around you, and you're that concentrated, then you're really good.
Right. Right. Well, I think that, you, at least from this interview, you seem extremely enthusiastic. You seem like you know what you're doing. And I mean, I've watched some of your stuff. I mean, I think you pretty much have nailed it. So, I mean, I'm sure there's more to do and more to learn, but, I think your attitude is, a pretty attractive part of that package. So
absolutely. Yeah. So let's try and get back in the room with auditions then, so we can get.
So tell me about like some favorite movies or favorite actors. Like, who do you
I
love?
grew up loving De Niro and all the 70s New York films.
Oh, yeah?
Glasgow and New York's very similar, both people-wise and architecture-wise as well, because a lot of New York was based on the grid system of Glasgow and was built by Scots and Irish workers. So there's a big affinity between New York and Glaswegians. They're very similar. And again, a big Irish and Italian heritage, and it was sort of coming into both sides of the family where I am. So I loved those films. That for me was Mean Streets was the ultimate. Raging Bull, all the early De Niro films. That's what kind of made me an actor. And there was a TV series with Ian Glenn here called The Fear. It was a London guy, a vicious, really sort of angled, chiseled, thin-faced gangster guy, and he was so still. When I was young when I watched it, and I worked with Ian Glenn in a job in the 90s, and we did a scene together, and I walked away, and as we're walking between the trailers, I stopped. I went, Ian, I'm only an actor because of you in The Fear. And my God, it was really... So actors, you don't know the effect that what you do or whatever has on somebody who maybe never thought about being an actor before, but loved your character and then becomes an actor. That's why I love doing theatre tours and school stuff as well, because you just inspire people to go, I can do that, or I'd like to do that. It's now a very real job. When I was growing up, it wasn't. It was to be an actor was something almost to be embarrassed about. I told a couple of school pals I was an actor. It was really, really frowned on. So I never said it for years. And then now it's different. You say you're an actor now, people go, oh, excellent. What have you been in? And now they can say, you've been in Outlander, and I can go, yes. Yes,
I have, and I got killed.
I got killed. I got killed well.
Yes, you did. I was so surprised by that scene. Did not expect that at all. So, and I
Yeah,
know that as Charlie's character like doesn't really have any speaking lines per se, but he is very formidable. And every time he's in a scene, I'm like, oh,
yeah, somebody's getting it. Somebody's going to get it. I love, and it was great. It was great to do those
like
scenes.
henchman.
Yeah, the final scene was I got a stuntman for that as well.
Oh,
So
really?
stuntman because he threw himself the way he hits me with the club. You've got to go up in the air and back into the cart.
Yeah.
So they got Ewan McGregor's stuntman flew up and did it. So it was
Oh,
great, man.
no way.
Yeah, it was
That's
great.
so cool.
Oh
That's
no,
so cool.
you've got a stuntman. He's dressed in the same costume as you. You know
Yeah.
you're working on something big.
Well, I just have two more things and I'll let you go. But so when you aren't working, like what do you like to do? I know you said you love football. Do you play it or do you watch it or do you have
Yeah, I do. I still play. I'm 52 now, and I still play sort of pro celebrity football matches whenever charity matches whenever I'm off.
Oh, nice.
Terrible now. I'm terrible, but I just love putting the strip on and running about with all my old heroes. So it's been great. So,
Terrible.
yeah, I do a lot of that. So I play for the Celtic teams normally
Yeah.
against Rangers. So the old firm is huge in Scotland. So Celtic v Rangers. So I play
Yeah.
in quite a lot of these games, and it's like half is people that have paid to play, half of it's celebrities, and then lots of ex-players and ex-managers living it all. So it's a great environment. So I do that. I go to the football a lot, and as I said, fashion. You know, I've got
Yeah.
and again the fashion business is called Zico, and it was
Great.
based a Brazilian 1982 footballer who scored against.
Interesting. Oh, what a cool name.
Yeah, Zico's great name, isn't it? All the Brazilians had these wonderful names: Socrates, Junior, Falcao, Adair, and Zico. And Zico was my favourite. And he scored this goal against the Scotland goalie who was Alan Ruff. And then years later, I played in a charity match, and it was the same goalie. It was Alan Ruff in goals as well. And I never scored, and I got one and a half volley, and I hit it top corner. And I went, it's effing Zico. So I was effing Zico for one day. And that's where the name of the shop came from. I called it Zico. I would drop the first part. So Zico, that's where it came from. So I even love about that. Everything's got a bit of a story behind it. You know, if you live long enough, you'll come up with lots and lots of stories.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And it's more international. People love Diego Maradona's Mexico, Argentina team that won the World Cup in Mexico and things. The Brazil team of the 1970s. So we've kind of got all that and a bit of music and film and obviously the train spotting connections.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, all of that's fused into the t-shirt designs that we come up with as well. We've got our own t-shirt company called Soccer.
Cool.
So it's great. Yeah, I love it. And it gives me something different to do. But as I said, now they're all figuring out, you know, you're the guy from the telly.
Yeah, they're going to come. Well, now they're going to come see you more now. So
they will. The secret's out.
I think that's cool, though. So let me ask you this. What's one little known thing about you that maybe your fans don't know and that you're willing to tell?
Yeah, little known thing about me.
You're pretty open, so.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'll give you a good one. I've been interviewed by the police for 3 murders.
For real?
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No!
Yeah. 3 murders.
Were you like, why do you keep coming over to see me?
I wonder why I keep playing villains. Huh?
Oh my, that's a weird parallel.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I was thinking about it the other day, actually. My dad was a police surgeon.
Surgeon?
Yeah, police surgeon. So it's a police doctor. So if you get arrested and the police have beaten you up, my dad then counts the bruises.
That's really interesting.
Really interesting job. So we grew up with my mum waking me up at 3 a.m. Oh, your dad's got a headless body. And we tell you the story about
oh my God.
You know, about these awful things that were happening. And
she'd wake you up to tell you that?
Yeah, wait here, this one. And then so it'd be like, so I loved it. So I was like, oh man. Yeah. And so the bodies thrown in wheelie bins and thrown out of windows and people buried, all sorts of stuff. And then there was a headless corpse.
Oh my.
This is taking a dark turn. But the headless corpse where the dog had ripped the head off because it was starving and eating everything. Anyway. Yeah. So when I was 7 or 8 years old, there was a piece of waste ground beside where our house was. My dad had been on nights with the police, so he was a general practitioner, GP during the day, and then do the police work at night. So somebody drink driving or whatever. My dad would go in and take blood from them, etc. Murders, my dad's on the
Okay.
scene. So it was a really, I'm sure he didn't tell us a lot, but he's a fascinating guy, my dad. He just retired quite recently. So I grew up with all these kind of stories. And then one day I'm out playing, it's a Saturday morning, we're out playing in the sort of bit of woods beside where we lived. And there was a shopping centre just through the woods behind us, a shopping arcade. And there was like a shop mannequin lying in the trees with I remember a sort of sheepskin coat on, and a wee pal of mine turned it over, and it was a dead body. It was a dead body.
Oh my.
Yeah, so there'd been a murder there. It was like being in Taggart. There was a murder there.
Okay.
So yeah, so I got interviewed by the cops then about finding the body and everything, and I ran away, jumped in front of a police car, and said there's a body in there, and then ran and got my dad, who of course didn't believe me. So the boy who cried with. So he eventually came down as well. There was a murder.
That's
Right?
crazy.
Yeah. So we moved house about a year later, a month later. We moved house, and my mum, my mum is like me. She's got awful woman, terrible sense of humor, hysterically funny. I'm only joking. But she cut out from the Evening Times newspaper the story about the body being found in the picture of the house and left it in a cupboard. And we moved anyway. So the second time I was at drama school. I was at Motherwell College doing a drama course, and it was a terrible thing. One of the girls in the class got murdered as well.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it became a big
Poor thing.
case, a not proven case. So the guy got away with it. So I was interviewed then again, and then when we had our last shop, we had shops in the West End of Glasgow, and there was a restaurant behind us, and one of the waitresses was killed in there as well by one of our customers.
Wow.
By one of our customers as well.
That's terrible.
So who then we saw out of jail a couple of years later. So yeah, it was a dark one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3 murders. Yeah. And they haven't
I'm
caught
not
me.
laughing to laugh at it. I'm laughing at the irony of it.
Yeah. So that's but again, you can use all that as well, because I liked hanging about with the cops. The cops gave me a police hat, and I used to stand, I was 7. I had a black coat. I would stand out my oversized police hat, and I stand out guarding the house with a murder caravan.
That's very funny. I love that.
The cops looking at me going, "This boy's not right," and inviting me for a cup of tea, and things like that. So I think this is probably where my Mr. Ben dressing up in costumes thing came from.
Yeah.
And my granny's stories. My granny was I'm looking at a picture of her now actually, but she was the family historian before oral history.
Cool.
And she was full of stories, and she's lived in Nigeria and all sorts.
Oh, how cool.
So I think I got it from her.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Do you have children? Are they like you?
No, I don't actually. I don't.
Is your wife as outgoing as you are, or is she quieter?
She's quieter.
Yeah, I would think two competing personalities when you're extrovert would be a lot.
she's the sensible one here. So yeah. She's lovely. So I met her because I moved to London after the High Road show finished, and I met her one day at a train station, really old fashioned. It was a lovely kind of meeting, and I was going to play football. I was playing for Birkbeck University at the time, and I had a kit bag, and I came through the barriers, and there was this beautiful girl there, and she was with she worked she worked at Waterloo. She was doing a barrier check for the train company, and checking tickets, and I went through. Said something to her, let that big man through, and she sort of laughed. And the train was coming. I was down the platform with all the rest of the football team, and I ran back, and I gave her my phone number, and they're all shouting at me. Whoa! I got on the train, and I didn't hear from her for 3 months. So she went back to Jamaica to build a house. So her family are all from Jamaica. They were building a house out there.
Wow.
So 3 months later, she sent me a message, and I called her back, and she hung up because my voice was so northern. She couldn't understand a word I was saying. So she agreed to meet me. We went to, here's another dark story. We went to a bar in Brixton to meet, and the Evening Standard came over, newspaper, London's newspaper, big newspaper. Hi, you guys are a really funky looking couple. Can we take your picture and put you on the front page? I went, yeah, man. Listen, it's the first date. Going to give us 10 minutes. Sure. Young and funky Brixton, great. And then he came over about 10 minutes later. I went, you're okay, you're off the hook. Somebody stabbed 7 people at the bus stop. You're okay. I went, oh, magic. So that was the first date.
That's
so then
crazy.
we've been together ever since. So it's been great.
That's an interesting story.
Isn't it? Yeah. So her background was fashion, and that's why we get the fashion stuff.
How cool.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And she loves it up here. She loves Scotland because
I'm so glad.
From from London. You know, it's so.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I lived in London until I was 2. So
Then you moved at the right time.
yeah. A very long, very, very long time ago. But
We
yeah,
kept
I
that.
just wanted to thank you so much for your time. You have very, very interesting stories. We could talk for a really long
We
time.
could do anytime. Okay. If they get
Okay.
me back in Blood in My Blood, if I come back as another character, get me back on.
Yeah, well, if you have, let me know when that your other Barry comes out or whatever. We can always
Will
chat
do.
again about that. I'd love
Yeah,
that.
quite a lot coming up. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do.
you got a lot going on. You are a super interesting person.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Been
Yeah, I
great talking
really
to you. I've
enjoyed
really,
it.
really enjoyed it. Okay. Really
Okay, thank
enjoyed
you
it.
so much. You have a great day. I will send you all the info, and I hope to talk to you again.
That's lovely. And tell Balak I don't forgive him.
You don't forget him. I will make sure to say that exactly that way.
Lovely. See you soon.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.